Hello, YouTube true crime family. I have had a rough week and I really missed you, and I'm sorry it took me a while to get these videos out, but as you know, I lost my phone and my new replacement phone is coming this Tuesday. So all my documents are in a cloud and I'm borrowing a phone to do this. So a lot of my information, my son's gonna have to help me download so that I can have some of that information to get back into some of the things that I was investigating before I went to Arizona. And I also had to work once I came back. And as you know, I'm a nurse and we have 14 cases of COVID right now. And so it's really busy. We have a few staff that also has it, so we're down nurses. So I've been pretty busy. My tree I had to get rid of because the ash borers came and ate my beautiful old tree, and they had to take that down today, and so they had to take the electric and turn it off before they could cut the tree down. So I had no electric all day. So anyhow, here I am. I missed you all. The comments, I promise you that as soon as my phone comes, I'm going to answer all the comments. I can't wait to read them. I miss reading them, and I missed all of you. So I'm going to start this video off with Kiely and Trinity and Truckee, law enforcement. Just a little bit of recapping since I don't have a lot of my information, but I just wanted to touch on these things and, you know, let everybody know that, you know, we're still here and we still care about Kiely, and we're not going to go away until we get answers. You know, we're just going to keep fighting for Kiely and fighting for the answers that she deserves. So I think I'll start it off with Trinity. I didn't get to talk much about her, but one of the things that really bothered me is when she went missing, it was a Wednesday night. Why are you having a sleepover at your so-called aunt's house on a Wednesday night? You know, you have school in the morning, right? Okay, and so that kind of bothered me, and that is another parental issue that I have. It seems like none of these people in that area, and maybe it's all of California, I don't really know, don't seem to, you know, parent the way that we do in the rest of the world, it seems, well, United States anyhow. I don't get it, you know. Don't they have any rules? Don't they have any, I mean, do they sit down and have dinner together? I mean, don't they have homework? And I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. In my last video, we talked about her freaking out after a lighter was flicked and she took a bong hit. We have also learned from Squirrels on Fire that we now know that, I'll talk about that in a minute, but back to Trinity. She took that bong hit and it freaked her out, and she started seeing radiation, and, you know, she yelled for her aunt and the uncle or whatever he was, put his shoes on, she was gone. Well, she took off running, and what I thought was weird is if you look at the 911 call, the first 911 call gives you coordinates. And if you put those coordinates in on a Google map, it takes you right down to where that shed was in her backyard. And what is behind that shed? A grow operation. Okay? What was back there? Like, did she take off? She did take off running in the backyard, right? She took off running in the backyard, and a 911 call pinged, but nobody answered right where that shed was. who's to say that she wasn't running from something or someone, and she was trying to use her phone to call 911, and she dropped it or somebody grabbed it from her and she took off running and continued through the pot plants, I guess. I don't know, but that's what's back there if you pull it up. And so that's my big question with her. And I'm going to dig more into her situation too. But I didn't want to leave her out of this picture because we can't forget about Trinity either. And there's a little bit more that I'll talk about in this paper that I wrote. I jotted some things down. It's a little bit here and a little bit there, so it's not going to flow real well, but you'll get the gist of it, right? Okay, so now I'm going to talk about, you remember my very first video where I found, and this was a long time ago, way back when she first went missing, I was like, these people sound weird. And so I typed in, Truckee, California, and this Truckee Way thing came up, and I started reading it, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And that's my very first video. And I was like, this sounds like a cult. This sounds like a cult. And then, I couldn't really put a finger on it, and then, I love Buddhism. I love all religions, and I try to take a little bit from each one and, apply it to my life if it's something that sounds good and positive, and so then I found that Hinduism, I don't know, that's like the 5th or 6th one. And that really sounded like her because all of the stuff that was in the background of the Hindu pictures that I found and how they think that marijuana is really big in their religion. So I kind of thought, well, if it's big in their religion, then, the parents, it's like in Germany, the kids drink beer with dinner. It's not a big deal. They don't think that's a big deal. So, I was thinking, well, maybe it's Hinduism, but Squirrels on Fire, I think they got it. That YouTube channel, those guys on that channel are awesome. And I think they hit it. Because they did some research and they found, they looked into Druidism, and Sunshine Fowler, Trinity's boyfriend's mom, is a high priestess. She also is known to have officiated at Kiely's celebration of life. And we know that she does acupuncture. She has a shop where she does acupuncture. She sells all kinds of herbs and some crazy herbs. And guess where she gets them? She gets them in China. Okay, so there's a link to China now. So, China has a cartel as well. And, we get drugs from their country also. So now we have a link to China with Fowler and her herb shop or whatever shop, new age shop, whatever it is. Okay, you can look it up. You can pull her stuff up online and you can look at all the stuff she has for sale, and it's crazy. And while you're doing that, kind of look up salvia too. That's a really weird drug that I just learned about. And I don't think the Trinity was on that drug that night because, salvia kind of, it makes you hallucinate, but you don't move too fast. Anyhow, so we have a link to China now, right? We know that. We also know that Truckee and Nevada County has links. We know they have links to the cartel in Mexico. We know it. That whole area is full of cartel and, have something to do with Mexico. We know that Kiely and her mom and best friends just got back from Mexico. And the links are there. And for these cartels, and I'm going to put a shout out to another person who has a lot to say about cartels and water rights, is Kevin Neese. He has a lot of good information. He's a little bit he's a lot like me, because he has passion, and he really cares, and he kind of gets upset when people don't listen and criticize, so he's colorful, but he has some really good information. And so these cartels, they're big up there. They have grow operations up there, and they need water. Okay, now, what else? Who else do we know that has a grow operation? Trinity's aunt. Where's she getting her water from? I talked about finding Sam's parents had a Pennsylvania address for a few years, and that Kiely's grandpa had a Pennsylvania phone number at the same time. And I think that's unique. And as soon as I get my information back, I'm going to dig deeper into that and see if I can pull some stuff from that. I also want to remind you that this is important too. And I'm kind of confused about this, and I'm sure somebody's going to tell me about it, which I'll appreciate. But remember how I said I did a background check on Sammy's mom and her dad. And I told you, it lists, traffic ticket 1980, and if it was, if he fulfilled his obligation with that. And then it'll tell you the next one and what year it was and what he was, got a ticket for, or what he was arrested for. Well, there was like 5 of them. And like I said, it's on my other phone, but I'll talk about it again. But then when you get down into the I think it was late 80s, it has, the date, it has 8 of 89 or 7 of 86. There's like this much, right? And it was all redacted. There were arrest dates and years, and then nothing. And how can that be? So I'm sure somebody's going to tell me I don't know that part of the law. How can that be erased from his criminal background check? Please, somebody tell me that. I want to know what he did back in those years. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we also know that Sammy's parents and Kiely's grandfather had issues with water rights. They had, some kind of disagreement or a lawsuit. I'm going to look more into that too, but we all know that. In the United States, you have to prove a source of income. Let's use a motorcycle gang, for instance, because I'm really familiar with them. Let's say that they sell drugs, right? They sell speed, okay? So let's say they sell $10,000 worth of speed. They can't go put that in the bank. They can't go buy a brand new car, because then once they start buying these things and they don't have a job, then the government's going to see, let me see. We need to keep an eye on these guys because they're doing something. So, we have to prove a source of income. Where are you getting your money from? So the cartels use these people and businesses to launder their money. I know this is something, I just really believe that this whole area up there in California, Northern California, where all the grow operations are, and the cartels are really big there, they need those kind of operations, like with the Singh family and the trucking business that they have. Let's not forget about that. Please don't. the lodge, and you need to go look at the lodge. It is crazy. I keep going to see if, you know, they're going to have some kind of weird event. Well, they do have a weird event. They are listed as a male retreat now. Yeah, almost everything's taken down, and there's pictures of this male retreat thing that they have every year. Bizarre. Really weird. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in that little lodge the whole time they're doing their retreat. I would love to listen. Okay, so we know that, you know, that would be a source to launder money, right? They need a source. You know, not only do they need the water rights, they also need to launder their money because, you know, you have to have a business. So I was all fine. Like when I first started my channel, everybody was so nice, and everybody still is. All your comments are so, you know, sweet and encouraging, and you make me feel so good, and I get educated from some of you. You give me a great education, and there were a few comments from some Chucky people and some people, you know, trying to educate me in a mean way. But they were very few until I started doing the research on these families, and I started doing these background checks, and I started talking about the water and the sings and the truck, and you know, then I started getting, people would say, drop it, this case is over, leave Kiely rest, or you're so stupid you don't know what you're talking about. And, what were some of the other things? Just, you know, negative stuff. You know, one person wrote a book, and when I get my phone back, I want to read that to you, because he just kept going on and on and on. And you know what I do? I thank them for their comment, because everyone has a right to their opinion, and they don't have to agree with me, because what I talk about is my opinion, and it's to educate people on cases that are still open, and it's a passion of mine. And you know, I'm not gonna let it go. I don't give up easy on things that I believe in, and I believe these girls need justice, and I believe that Paisley, all these young women that are getting killed, you know, all these innocent people that, you know, it's like life doesn't matter. So you're gonna take them out and just walk away? Oh, and say it was an accident, or it was self-inflicted. No. So when I started getting into that kind of stuff, I started getting these really bad hate emails and things like that. But oh well, I just say thank you, and you have a right to your opinion. I also want to remind you of the PI company that Sammy and Sammy's father and mother have. Now, what I think is really interesting is that I looked into this company, and the thing that was really interesting is Kiely's mom does not have any investigative license, and neither does her father. But you would not believe the money that goes through that business. So I'm like, what do they do? If they don't have an investigative license, what do they do? Just own the business? Because you know who's attached to that business? A lot of law enforcement. That's interesting as well. And I'm sure that they're connected to the cartel. And I'm sure that all that money that's going through that business, if that's what you want to call it, is cartel money laundering. That's just my opinion. Okay, so I would really like to know who does have the investigative licenses at that company. Let's see. Also, in my last video, I said I did background check. And I told you about the dad having quite a past. For several years, he had quite the past. The other thing I want to talk about is the Kiely's autopsy again. I just can't get over this part. So we know, go look at the missing poster. She's 5'7", what was it, 115 pounds? But her autopsy says she's 5'2" and 103 pounds. Excuse me? That's a major discrepancy. And that was another one that somebody, you don't know how to read an autopsy. That autopsy was complete. No, it wasn't. I am a nurse. And what I didn't understand, I took to a doctor. So it was not complete. I don't care what anyone says. You can put me down all you want. That was an incomplete autopsy report. And there were so many things that weren't right. And I'm not going to believe it. So her height and weight was really, really wrong, right? I think it was, let me see, allegedly with Brittany. I love her channel as well. She does a really good job. I hope you guys, if you don't know her channel, please go see her channel. She's a very kind lady and has a lot of information to offer. But I think it was her channel that mentioned that Jagger has been putting out, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Twitter, I don't have anything but YouTube. And I don't want anything else. You know, I don't want that yucky old Facebook. I definitely don't want TikTok. And I don't want Twitter either. I'm totally content here. We'll see what happens in the future, but for right now, I'm cool with just trying to learn how to do this and my stupid Mac thing. I'm 60. I don't know how to do this stuff. Anyhow, let me get back to this. Okay, so that autopsy. Okay, so I was listening to Brittany's channel, allegedly with Brittany, and she had said that Jagger had been putting out a lot of messages on like posts, and this makes sense. She read the posts, and it sounds like he's talking to her. It sounds like, you know, I mean, I know he misses her. I know he probably really, really loved her. And that first love never, ever, ever goes away. And when you are going through turmoil in your life, and your life, no one in your family gives your life worth, you know, and you just don't feel like you have anyone to turn to, they might have had that kind of relationship, you know, where it was him and her against the world. And a lot of people seem to think he's obsessed with her. And, you know, he may be. And I know they were broke up, but they were still pretty tight, you know. And I really believe he cared about her. And from the way these messages sounded when Brittany read them, it did kind of sound like he was talking to her. Now, this is a bit way out there, okay? But we have to, remember Ryan Upchurch? Think outside the box. You gotta think outside the box. So, let's go there. Let's just say that Kiely, okay, let's say that Jagger is writing these messages with little clues in his message. Let's say that Kiely's still alive and the cartel may have her, so that Kiely's grandfather will hold on to the water rights and help them launder money. You know, and they're holding on to Kiely and maybe Jagger knows this. Well, that sounds a bit far-fetched, like I said, but seriously, you have to kind of keep all your doors open and read between the lines. Read the post that Jagger has out there. It kind of sounds like he's talking to her. Nothing would surprise me. Not nowadays. It wouldn't surprise me. And with there being a 5'2", no, what was it? What was she? 5'7", 5'2", 103 pound on the autopsy, and her real body height's 5'7", and she weighed 115. That may not have been Kiely in that car. Yeah. So we got to think outside the box. It's insane the amount of drugs these kids are exposed to in that area. It's just insane. And how everybody just, all the parents and adults just seem to think it's okay, and I just can't wrap my head around that. And this is what really gets me. I'm going to jump back to Trinity, and I can't remember. I think it was her mother that said, and I think the mom was genuinely upset about her daughter passing, but shame on you. Be a damn mom. Be a mom, people. Wake up. Stop having your children grow up and act like adults. They have their whole life to be adults. Let them embrace their childhood. Don't push them to grow up so much. Have rules. Set boundaries. But I think it was her mom. If it wasn't her mom, it was the so-called aunt that said, psychedelics aren't the kind of drugs Trinity usually did. What? She shouldn't be doing any drugs at her age. She's a child. I wanted to jump through the screen and shake that woman. Just shake her. You only have this much time with your children. That's it. It's over. You can't go back. You can't get those years back. God. These kids, they need love. They need stability. They need rules. They need parents that care. They also need to be taught. These parents need to teach their children about loyalty, respect, how to treat people, how to treat your friends. What's the matter with people? I don't get it. You just let your friends run off? You leave your friends? Oh, she just ran off. Why didn't you go after her? Oh. I told you about the 911 call by the shed. It's interesting. What really gets me is how the aunt, through this whole conversation, that note that she put out, how she kept talking about her boyfriend. Oh, he was in the bathroom with me and he sat in there for 45 minutes and then we went out on the porch and me and the uncle, we sat there with the girls and we went through this paint book and then they wanted to braid my hair. So we all went in the bedroom and we all sat on the bed together. So if something went down, they could explain why those two girls had DNA in the aunt and the uncle's, so-called aunt and uncle's bed. That's what it looks like to me. Why are you giving all that information? Geez, when I get pulled over, the first thing I do is hand my driver's license and turn my phone on and I sit there. Where are you going? Was I speeding? Well, you were going this many miles. That's all you need to tell them. They don't need to know where you're going. That's not their business. You were speeding. Give me my speeding ticket. These people got diarrhea of the mouth. I can't believe some of the stuff that they say. And then they renege it because it's wrong. They change their story every 5 minutes. I don't get it. Now, let's see. Where was I? Okay, so again, what's wrong with these parents? I don't get it. I can't stop thinking about the Stepford wives. I can't, because if you ever saw that movie, they'd move into this little community and it would look like the perfect community, and these guys all got together and they said they're gonna, do this thing to the wives so that they do everything the men do, and everybody's like, yes, dear, anything you say, dear. Oh, you look beautiful. And they're all dressed up, so pretty, and their houses are so tidy. This reminds me of Truckee. They all act the same. All the parents act the same. It's like they're programmed. The kids all act the same. I'm like, oh man. Ugh. So I told you I'm going to download that stuff, have my son help me get that stuff so we can go more into depth into some of these backgrounds and who's linked to who. Oh, the other thing, I don't know if anyone knows about CCTV. Her and Squirrel Girl, which I love Squirrel Girl. She's got a heart of gold, and Cece does too. And Cece's from that area, and she was doing some research up there. And I don't know if I'm getting this right, but somebody got PO'd and mad about all of us YouTube people, because I think we're putting shit together. I think pieces are coming together, or things are being brought out into the open, and I think people are, at least, freaking out a little bit, because I heard that the police went to see CCTV about something in, YouTube, and then heard, I might be wrong about, I pray that I'm wrong. I pray that she's okay and she just got tired of it and took her channel down. I hope she comes back. She was really, really good. But I hope that they didn't go and arrest her for some stupid thing that we're all doing on YouTube. And, I want to make sure she's okay. So if anybody knows, just tell me she's okay, because we're all responsible for the things that we're saying about Truckee. And just because she lives close to Truckee, she shouldn't be paying for all of our mistakes. So I'm saying a prayer for her. Gonna say a prayer for her. Okay. I'm gonna take this time to say thank you for all your support and putting up with me and my last couple weeks. And, we'll be getting more information on a regular basis, and maybe I can get on a schedule here now that I'm back home. But who knows, the holidays are coming up, right? I have a couple more videos that I'm working on right now, and I had to put my girls on the back burner. My 2 little girls in Evansdale, that case is 10 years old now, and I'm not going to drop that case either. That case is close to me. I know people in that family. I know what it did to that family. So I have a lot of notes on that, but there's 2 other cases right now that are really hot, and I'm really, really mad about them. And I'm going to make videos about those 2 cases. I have them written. I just have to record them. And so I'll get this one going, and I'll try and get another one out here tonight, maybe 2. And I just want to say, God bless you all, and thank you for your support. And please go check some of these people out that I mentioned. Justice A to Z is really awesome. I love Squirrel Girl, Kevin Neese, Jeff, Jeff Backtube. I don't know if I have that right. And Casey by the Lake, he's awesome and amazing. I mentioned Tim the last time. Candace Starr, she has some great videos. Allegedly with Brittany, Harsh Reality. I love listening to him. He's awesome. He's got great perspective. And Lost Souls. A shout out to all of those guys. I think we have a really, really good community. Squirrels on Fire. Crime community that cares. You know, people are willing to share and work together to get justice for Kiely and Trinity. And I'm going to be looking into Paisley as soon as I get time. And these next few cases coming up, I think everybody cares, you know, and, you know, they want justice for these people. And we are in America, you know, and this is our America. And we can't let things like this happen. So God bless you, and I'll see you soon.